Good morning, traders. This is Shane Scott, the moderator of Newsware's Trade Talk. At Trade Talk, we're providing you with the most up-to-the-minute news on the market, along with the facts, themes, and short-term trading ideas for the day ahead. Joining me today is our trading anchor, Bill Olson, who brings over 30 years of institutional trading knowledge to our program. We're getting things started with our markets update. U.S. futures are mixed this morning, with S&P futures up 0.04%, Dow futures up 0.16%, and NASDAQ futures down 0.11%. The U.S. and Europe have pushed ahead of Asia and other regions with inoculations, and equities there are hitting records. With the global backdrop set the way it is, some strategists are predicting a rebound in reflation trade tied to economic revival. The US Treasury 10-year yields are set for the first back-to-back weekly climb since March. There's reason to believe that higher commodity costs and supply bottlenecks are still adding to inflationary pressures for companies, as the latest U.S. data showed that prices paid to producers rose in July by more than economists forecasted. Initial unemployment claims fell for a third week, and home prices rose to a record high. Elsewhere in markets, oil dipped as traders struggled with the impact on demand being caused by the Delta variant spread. Within agricultural commodities, those looking to create a squeeze on global grain supplies are stimulating a rally in crop prices. Over in Europe, markets head for the longest streak of record closes since 1999 off of the back of strong earnings, and economic reopenings boosted cyclical stocks and luxury stocks. Over in Asia, stocks continue to struggle as vaccinations lag and the Delta variant continues to spread and halt reopenings. Bill, what are you seeing as far as market updates?
Well, Shane, I'm watching the S&Ps, and the S&Ps have been pushing higher. That's kind of nice. They are ticking higher. Like to see that. They are at all-time highs. That's kind of nice. What's causing the move higher really is Disney and that earnings report that they came out with last night, which is very strong. That's why I think we're seeing the gains this morning. They had positive moves on the streaming, positive increases on the theme parks, and the report was really solid. You also got to think about the FDA. The FDA authorized that third dose of COVID vaccine for the medically vulnerable people out there. That's another positive for the markets. I still see risks out there, and I'm concerned about them. There's the supply chain disruptions in China. They shut down a port. That's because one person got COVID. That's a pretty dramatic move, but it's still a supply chain issue. And then you got to think about the oil production. Oil production they are producing more. The demand seems to be weakening. The reports yesterday from the EIA showed that they feel demand is going to be dropping somewhat for the rest of the second half of this year. So that is a concern. Europe, Europe's moving higher. They feel they're moving higher on positive earnings. Asia, they moved lower overnight, mainly because of, weakness in the chip makers. Consumer sentiment figures are out later this morning. I don't think they're going to create a lot of volatility when they're released. But we did have some good earnings last night, and that's what I'm focused on this morning, Shane.
Well, let's talk about earnings. Starting things off with the earnings we've seen come in so far. Airbnb looked like it did great. Bill, why don't you tell us about it?
Well, yeah, Airbnb, ticker ABNB, they did have a good quarter. That was a 37-cent beat on higher revenue. But if you look at the ticker, they're actually, the stock's actually down 2.37% this morning. Why? Because they essentially warned, and they feel that going forward they're not going to be benefiting as much as they have for the past year. So there's some real concern with Airbnb being able to generate future growth as much as they have over the past quarter. Disney, on the other hand, ticker DIS, they did a 24-cent beat on higher revenue. They showed increases in their subscribers in Disney Plus. They showed that their theme parks are coming back. So it was a real solid report from Walt Disney. Rocket, that's ticker RKT, Richard Kilo Tom, they did a 3-cent miss on a lower revenue. You look at Rocket this morning, and it's actually up 3.72%. DoorDash, that's ticker DASH. They missed by 9 cents on higher revenue. However, total orders, rose, 69% this past quarter. DoorDash this morning is trading lower by 3.8% this morning. Kodak's, that's ticker CODX, Charlie Oscar David X-ray. They beat by 11 cents on higher revenue, and they did raise guidance. That stock is up 9.5% this morning. And ZipRecruiters, that's ticker ZIP, Zebra India Paul. They missed by 33 cents, but they did it on higher revenue. In addition, Zip raised guidance, which was really nice to see. And you look at the stock; it's actually up 9.68% this morning. So while they did have a miss, that higher revenue, that raise of guidance was enough to keep that stock moving north. And I was positive. I was happy to see that, Shane.
Let's talk about earnings for next week. Bill, what are we seeing there?
Well, there's no earnings coming out this afternoon or, Monday morning. There's some, but nothing really that excites me. But starting Monday afternoon, I do see some interesting ones like Roadblocks. That's ticker RBLX, Richard Boy Larry X-ray. Their EPS estimate is 23 cents. The expected move here is 12.46%. So this could be a real winner. I mean, it stocks at $84. I'm interested in it. 10 cents, which is ticker TME, Tom Michael Edward. Their EPS estimate is 61 cents, and the expected move there is 8.9%. And then we walk into Tuesday morning, where we have bellwethers like Home Depot, ticker HD, reporting. Their EPS estimate is $4.42. The expected move there is 3.13%. We have Walmart, ticker WMT. They're also reporting. The EPS estimate here is $1.56, and the expected move is 3.71%. Also Tuesday afternoon, we have Lazy Boy, ticker LZB, Larry Zebra Boy. Their EPS estimate is 56 cents, and their expected move is 7.5%. Let's not forget Krispy Kreme. That's ticker DNUT. Donuts, Nancy, under Tom. Their EPS estimate is $1.36, and the expected move there is 12%. So those are the earnings that I'm going to be watching and doing some more research on this weekend, Shane.
Let's talk about economic reports. Bill, tell us what we're seeing for reports today.
8:30 a.m., we have the import and export prices. This will be an important report to watch. 10 o'clock, we have the University of Michigan consumer sentiment figures coming out. And at 1 p.m. Eastern time, we have the Baker Hughes oil rig count. So that's another one that the oil traders typically follow and can create volatility in the oil prices.
Moving into our morning's critical insights, starting things off with news on Pfizer, ticker PFE, BioNTech, ticker BNTX, and Moderna, ticker mRNA. The FDA has amended the emergency use authorizations for Pfizer and BioNTech's COVID vaccine, as well as Moderna's, to allow for the use of a third dose in immunocompromised individuals, specifically solid organ transplant recipients or those with equivalent forms of weakness. Elsewhere on the tape, Richard Branson has sold $300 million worth of stock in Virgin Galactic, that's ticker SPCE, according to an SEC filing. In other news, JBS SA made an offer to Pilgrim Pride, ticker PPC, to acquire all outstanding shares of the company for $26.50 per share. Pilgrim Pride's share price is up 18.08% in pre-market. News on Boeing, ticker BA. The launch of Boeing's Starliner space capsule is facing several months of delays for maintenance and repair reasons. The launch was supposed to take place in late July after the first attempt failed in 2020. NASA and Boeing were forced to delay the space flight without crew to International Space Station after a Russian vehicle forced the station into an unexpected slant. This is on top of the fact that Boeing is facing problems with some of the valves in a propulsion system that was discovered last week during a pre-flight check failure. According to sources, the Starliner is now likely to get separated from the rocket. NASA and Boeing will be holding a conference on the topic later today. Boeing share price is down 0.4% in pre-market. News on Romeo Power, ticker RMO. Romeo Power has signed a long-term supply deal with LG Energy Solutions to provide lithium-ion battery cells through 2028. Data Group, ticker DADA, has announced that JDDJ and JD.com and Sephora have partnered to provide customers with 1-hour shopping services. So when customers order via JDDJ application or mini program, beauty products are delivered from the nearest Sephora store within an hour by DataNow's riders. Data's share price is down 2.41% in pre-market. News on Norwegian Cruise Line, ticker NCLH. Norwegian Cruise is opening a new cruise terminal in Miami, the Pearl of Miami, which stated that it will have shore power ready by fall 2023. The new facility can accommodate cruise vessels carrying up to 5,000 cruise passengers, and Norwegian Cruise share price is down 0.97% in pre-market. Lastly, for me, the bidding war between Canadian National, ticker CNI, and Canadian Pacific Railroad, ticker CP, for US Railroad Kansas City Southern, ticker KSU, has come to a close, with KSU keeping its deal of $325 per share with Canadian National. Bill, what are you seeing as far as this morning's news?
Shane, I break my news alerts down into specific alerts. I do them for sectors and I do them for specific events. Just allows me to jump on the price action before the price action really starts to go. So when you get that news first, you're able to see it on Newswire all the time. So it's a great little program for that. I look at my FANG alert, which I will look at every morning. And, yesterday I mentioned about how the senators were introducing legislation against the big tech companies. Well, today you see members of Congress that are jumping into the battle against the tech giants, Apple and Google. Bill was introduced yesterday to bar app stores from being the sole billing option of developers' content. I'm looking over at Amazon. Amazon Studios is going to be moving its filming of the Lord of the Rings series to the United Kingdom. I also see that Cowen feels that Walmart's U.S. sales growth could outdo Amazon's when the retailer Walmart reports its fiscal earnings on Tuesday. Looking over at Apple, I see that new iPhone is expected to be launched next month, and it's expected to have a bigger battery and some new camera features. Netflix third quarter matrix said to be seeing improving margins. That's nice to see. Tesla, that's ticker TSLA, company's hoping that to make its first cars at the Gigafactory near Berlin in October or very soon afterwards. Going over to my Dow 30, I see Walmart price targets are being raised and the brokers are trying to get in front of the next week's earnings announcement. I'm looking over at the option industry, and I'm seeing some unusual call volume. And two stocks that recently released earnings. iHeartMedia, this is ticker IHRT, India, Henry, Richard, Tom. After dropping $15 on their second quarter on their Q2 results, option traders are swooping in and they're creating elevated activity in the stock. So that's good to see. Something good might be happening out of iHeartMedia. And also, let's take a look at IAA Corp. This is ticker IAA, India, Apple. The company delivered a solid beat on EPS and revenue. They raised guidance. They announced a $400 million share buyback on August 3rd, yet the stock sold off. And now, yesterday, I'm looking at the options, and there's a 6-to-1 call to put ratio. That's very positive for shares of IAA yesterday. Events, I see Ares Capital Corp, that's ticker ARES, Apple, Richard, Edward, Sam. At 3 o'clock Eastern time, they're going to be having a shareholders meeting today. But these are the news events I'm seeing on this Friday morning, Shane.
Let's talk about our Trade Talk picks for today. I'm picking Moderna, ticker mRNA. This is off of the news about the third dose being approved by the FDA for emergency use. That means that they're going to be racking in more profit from that as they're able to give this extra dose out to immunocompromised individuals. It's up a little bit already in pre-market, wavering between 1% and 2%. So I think that we probably should wait for some morning weakness on this, but I am hoping and thinking that this is going to get a rise from the good news they've just gotten. So that's my pick. What's your pick looking like, Bill?
I'm sticking with Walmart, ticker WMT. I'm expecting it to move higher today. Earnings are out next week. The brokers are raising the price targets out there today. I expect that to continue. Stocks expected to move 3.5% when earnings are announced on Tuesday. I remember that they revamped their customer buying models earlier this year, like in January specifically. And I think that the results that they're going to come out on Tuesday are going to really show positive momentum. I really want to get in at, under 150. If I can get in at 149.50, I think that would be a great price. But I'm looking for shares of Walmart to show some gains today, Shane.
Well, moving into what's hot off the press, the news is hitting the tape as we speak. Let's get into it. So, Bill, what are some headlines that traders should be looking at?
Cisco, ticker CSCO, Charlie Sam, Charlie Oscar. They're acquiring an Israeli application monitoring company for $500 million. Moderna, that's ticker mRNA. Michael Richard, Nancy Apple. Study shows its COVID-19 vaccine holds up against several variants after 6 months.
MedTech Acquisition, ticker MTAC, and Mimic Innovative Surgery, they've entered into a business combination valued at $1 billion. Silverbow Resources, ticker SBOW, has agreed to acquire oil and gas assets in Eagle Ford from an undisclosed seller for about $33 million. Arthur Gallagher, ticker AJG, is acquiring Willis Towers Watson, ticker WLTW, for $3.25 billion cash.
Here's one on Bank of America and Rite Aid. Rite Aid sells 2020 Medicare Part D receivables to Bank of America.
CareMax, ticker CMAX, has signed a collaboration agreement with Anthem, ticker ANTM, to open approximately 50 medical centers in Indiana, Texas, Kentucky, Georgia, Connecticut, and other states.
There's one on Apple from JP Morgan. JP Morgan feels that Apple's iPhone sales rebounded in China in the month of July.
Bad news for Rigel, ticker RIGL. The FDA has declined to issue an emergency use authorization for its intended treatment for COVID-19 patients, hospitalized adults.
Here's one on MasterCard, ticker MA. MasterCard to start phasing out magnetic strips in 2024. TJX, that's TJ Maxx, Tom, John, X-Ray. UBS just raised their price target to $78. Some interesting to know because TJ Maxx is coming out with earnings next week.
Aegon, ticker AGN, said the European Commission has granted the competition law clearance for the acquisition of the company's business in Central and Eastern Europe by Vienna Insurance. Here's a headline on Tesla, ticker TSLA. India wants Tesla to ramp up local sourcing, share detailed manufacturing plans before considering tax breaks. Anything else interesting for you, Bill?
No, that's all I'm seeing today, Shane.
Same here. So that's what's hot off the press. Traders, if you want to up your trading game, you can get the same stories we do simply by subscribing at newsware.com. Moving into our scoreboard, talking about how our picks did from Thursday. I had Boeing, ticker BA. It opened at $240, which was high, and it had a relatively flat day, closing just lower than at $238.18 for a 0.75% loss. So fairly flat. But to be honest, I think the biggest negative came from that NASA story. So if that wasn't there, I don't know, maybe it would be a different story, but that's how it ended up. How'd yours end up doing, Bill?
I did Dillard's department store yesterday. That's ticker DDS, David Sam. Stock opened up at 189.11, and then it ran to a high of 196.15. You know, that's a 3.72% difference. Stock closed at 191.48, so you know that's a 1.25% difference between the opening price and the closing price. So you know both were positives. Good opportunity to make money in Dillard's department store, ticker DDS, yesterday.
Nice. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Trade Talk. But traders, you know what to do. Let's get out there. Let's make some green.